This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Okay, it is 6 o'clock, so I will call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. on July 20th. And George, is that up and running?
Yes.
Okay, and so this is being recorded on Zoom. Okay, so free time open to the public. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring to the commission? Jeff?
I got a couple things.
Yeah.
First of all, we plan to appeal the decision from a week ago, 2 weeks ago today.
Yep.
I was told that the starting time on the 10-day clock was the date that is put on the order of conditions. I have since found out otherwise, that it's not when the clock starts. The clock starts when the documents were mailed to the applicant. So somewhere along the way, there must be some proof of when those documents were mailed to the applicant, whether they were sent certified mail or I don't know what. I would just like to know what that date is.
The date is the 7th of July, and we have the certified mail receipt that we sent, so the post office stamped it.
Okay.
So it technically starts the day after.
Can you email me that, please?
Pardon me?
Could you email me that certified?
I'll have to scan it in.
Whatever. So that was one question.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm here about the response I got to my email, which I assume everybody's seen because George sent it to everybody on the commission.
Yep.
The fact that the proceedings were held and done legally or whatever, that's not even the point. The point is that at the meeting on 7/6, the thing was advertised and posted on the town website, on the Conservation Commission page, as being a in-person and hybrid Zoom meeting. That link was posted. That link didn't work. Therefore, open meeting law violations come into play. The fact that the most important person who should have been there, being from Levesque Associates, the peer reviewer, Ryan Nelson, who also didn't appear at the 6-1 meeting because he was told he didn't need to, because you know, that's a done deal, water under the bridge. But on 6-1, the applicant stood up there for 20 minutes talking about her answers or Weston and Sampson's or Blue Wave's answers to the peer review. She picked and chose what she talked about, and there was no one from the peer reviewer there. The meeting was closed. The public could not talk. They left, done deal. The next meeting was 7/6, when the thing was approved 2-1 by this commission, by this Conservation Commission. I, for the life of me, can't imagine why after what happened on 6/1, it was allowed for that meeting to even start without Levesque being there. Maybe not Ryan Nelson, someone from Levesque. I know for a fact that Ryan Nelson tried for an hour and 10 minutes to get on the Zoom. The link didn't work. I didn't really pay attention to the Zoom on the wall. I was at the meeting. But I replayed the meeting and looked at the Zoom. No one was ever on it. The reason no one was ever on it is because it wasn't working. And I'll tell you, this is just beyond belief. And so the response to my email is totally not acceptable. And I'm going to end my story right there.
Okay. I'll do my best to respond to each of your points here in order. So starting with the meeting listing, we never listed it as hybrid. It was listed as in-person only. The
We have
meetings.
proof. We have a printout of
Okay.
how it was.
Can you
listed.
share the printout?
You have
I don't
it.
have it with me, but I have it.
Okay.
Actually, I might have it on my phone.
It was originally listed as a in-person only, but right before, it was listed as hybrid.
Right before. Can you, do you,
Well, I don't know
Okay,
the
well-
exact time, but
me,
Here's the post thing. I mean, you want to look at my phone?
I don't. I would appreciate a hard copy. So the meeting,
Zoom information is on, I'll just tell you, there's Zoom information on the posting.
there's Zoom information, but it was posted as an in-person only meeting. Because a link is there does not mean it is a hybrid meeting. So,
was Levesque?
That was-
Because obviously
was Levesque aware of that?
on
Yes.
that one.
Yes,
At that meeting.
Mr. Nelson was aware of that, but I'm jumping ahead. Let me get back here to going in order.
I just got
So-
to stop right here, because at that meeting, when George was trying to start that Zoom, you said, bear with us, we're trying to do something
Test,
different, a
yes.
hybrid.
And so the meeting's on YouTube, you can listen to it.
Okay,
What I say is we are testing out a hybrid method for a potential new member.
okay.
So, pretty clear. But I can appreciate the concern and the confusion. Now, on the,
I thought, again, I gotta interrupt. Both new members were in the room, as I recall.
they were. I don't think I need to get into why we were testing it, as that's not relevant here, but we were testing it. So, on the Zoom link not working, again, it was a test. It was an in-person meeting, so irrelevant as to whether or not the link was working or not. Now, on 6/1, you said that Melinda stood up to talk for 20 minutes, cherry picking what she wanted to talk about,
See, no way.
right? Which it's a big document, takes more than 20 minutes to read through. I can see your point of view. What I don't agree with is your claim that we moved on and closed the public hearing without giving anybody a chance to speak. So, Jeff, you've been in a few of these meetings now by this point, right?
Almost everyone.
Yes, everyone, if I think,
Everyone.
every one of them, right? The process is the same, meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. And I know that I'm new here, 2 years in, year and 3/4 in, but I do my absolute best to make sure that I follow procedure for situations just like this. Before we move on to any other topic, it's made clear that we are closing the public meeting, the public hearing, or continuing a public hearing, and a motion's made, seconded, and then passed. At any point during that, if you had raised your hand or stood up, we would have stopped. So you had a chance on 6/1 to talk.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you. What I'm gonna
On
argue
s-
with you about is that Levesque wasn't at that meeting, and that person from
Which-
Western Sampson should not have said a word, as shouldn't have happened on the 6th.
We didn't close the public hearing on 6/1 because of that reason, among others.
No.
So on 7/6, let's get up to 7/6. So on 7/6, Mr. Nelson was told that it was an in-person meeting. We were expecting him here. I don't know what happened. I don't control Mr. Nelson's schedule. I don't control where he goes and doesn't go. We did ask. He wasn't here. It was pointed out that he had emailed us at 6, I think it was like 6:01, 6:02, somewhere around there, right when the meeting was started, with his response to the peer review response, right? His response to the peer review response was 3 questions, 2 of which had to do with the fence, which means everything else was satisfactory to him. Otherwise, he would have marked it up. There would have been a lot of red marks on the response from Weston and Sampson to the peer review, right? So we read through those questions, we talked through those, and the points that were brought up, we felt as though that was sufficient.
But
I
did he think that was sufficient? That's our feeling.
two of
right?
them were exempt. So right, two of the questions. So we're really talking about one question here.
But the vote was taken before he had a chance to respond to those comments. These people from Weston and Sampson and Blue Wave are just spewing all this information, which means nothing to the layman. Okay, and maybe
Yeah.
you understand it. We
No,
don't.
there was a steep learning curve.
CMR 1340I. I'm like, really? What are you talking about?
Yeah, a very steep learning curve to get on and understand everything. And so
So
I recognize
he never
that.
had a chance to say.
he didn't.
I don't really agree with that.
But he was hired by us as a peer reviewer, and at the end of the day, the decision is up to us. Now, we could have gone at the very beginning, said we don't need a peer review, in which case this conversation would have been moot. But we wanted to hear it out, and we wanted to go through the process and do the due diligence, which is what we did. At the end of the day, it was we're talking about 7 square feet.
Which
Right.
was a smoke and mirror right there. Seriously, that was smoke and mirrors on Blue Wave.
If that's what you feel, I can't control that, right? And that's how it is. So I think I just addressed every single one of your concerns and questions.
Okay.
I really do appreciate you coming in and talking about this. I think, in the 2 years that I've been here, there hasn't been a single issue that's had this much passion behind it. So that is good.
On a personal level, I can only say we have heard from other town officials, we can't afford lawsuits, we can't afford this, so basically we feel like this is being crammed down our throats, whether we like it or not. It's gonna go, whether we like it or not, and I just have to say, is there anybody here that would be happy if this was sitting in your backyard? I don't think so.
I would.
You would?
Beautiful. You wanna buy a house?
You want to buy a house? I got a beautiful home
I got
for
a
you
deal for you.
on 46 Pleasant Street that I won't be able to get any money for after this goes in. I don't know if you really realize the array of this thing. The noise, the polluting water, the on and on. I could go on and on. We've done a tremendous amount of research. If they were putting low ground solar panels over there, I'd be saying, yeehaw, go for it. But these things,
Mhm.
and so that, on a personal level, all the boards, and I appreciate you guys, your volunteers, believe me, I
Thank you.
appreciate all that everybody does. But on a personal level, I'm not sure anyone would be happy, most people, if this was sitting in their backyard.
Can I ask a question? Do you feel that you're going to be heard at the planning board?
No, I do not.
Heard
because-
or heard?
Why not?
Heard, because
Heard.
the last planning board meeting that this was discussed somewhat, it was kind of like, somebody said, well, basically you can say yes, but you can't say no, and they kind of said, correct. And there has been pushback from the town administrators, some of the officials in town to back off, because we can't afford Blue Wave will come in with 20 of their big honcho lawyers, and
And it's not just Southampton, it's everywhere in Western
It's
Mass
all
and
over
Central
Western
Mass,
Mass.
not down in Eastern Mass. I mean, they're
Not the open land.
bringing their show to the towns who don't have teeth in their bylaws, who don't have people on boards who know about what's going on. I mean, they can walk all over people out here. I mean, you name the towns,
and when you said
Blandford,
you would like to live this,
Plainfield, Worthington, I mean, you go on and on and on. This is constant, and this is gonna keep going, and this probably isn't the last one in this
Not in
town.
this town.
There'll be many more.
Mhm.
and the planning board,
Possibly.
excuse me, did
40
make a comment of, well, we've already approved one, why wouldn't we approve another one? Because there's one going in Vicista's Orchard. And that one kind of just went under the whole radar, I didn't even know about it.
Huh.
But when you said, you'd be happy to have this in your backyard, there's a woman in Munson that lives, and she cannot sit outside, she cannot open her windows, the noise is horrendous. So, that's, and Robin made the comment last week of, these things belong in mall parking lots, that's where they belong, not right next to residences that So that's, I'm just saying, personally, everybody goes, oh, not in my backyard. Yeah, if it was going in your backyard, how would you feel?
Right.
So that's all we can say.
And nothing to do with this commission, but
No.
if this passes the planning board, there is something seriously wrong. To put this over a groundwater protection.
100%
the ground-
groundwater
yeah, a water protection district is absolutely beyond imaginable. I mean, really. It's right over the Barnes Aquifer. It
Yeah.
doesn't affect just the
So
people
the
on
answer to your
Pleasant Street. It
question,
affects
Robin?
everyone in Southampton, Westfield, Holyoke, and East Hampton. So I'm about done. You ready to go?
I don't think, I have a feeling the planning board is just gonna say, well, we can't say no.
We did send, I will say, we sent a letter to the planning board recommending that they invite Ryan Nelson to their meeting.
I saw that. That was a good letter.
And because there are things in that peer review that are outside of our jurisdiction, but in their jurisdiction, that I think are worth bringing up in a conversation. So I'm hopeful that they heed that advice.
We are hopeful also, but we're losing hope day by day.
Well,
Don't lose them.
thank you for coming
We're
in.
trying. It's just like an uphill battle.
I guess I'm gonna ask one thing.
Yeah.
I want the town to spend money with legal counsel to say, and that what happened on the 6th with that Zoom was not a violation of open meeting law.
We
I
will-
find that very hard to believe. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you both.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to bring during the open time to the public? Okay. There's 2 public hearings tonight. The first is an RDA for Carl Prooknell. Prooknell. Okay, got it. At 63 East Street for a carport and some fill.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to? I saw the plans. Thank you for submitting those. You want to just walk us through it?
Sitting down here, Chair,
Yeah. Yeah.
walk you through where we at.
Yeah.
Need a sign in, Colin.
Oh, and yes, thank you. Here.
Mr. Chairman, while the applicant is signing in, just as a precursor to his presentation, I'd like the members to know that this was originally discovered by yours truly driving by the location, and there was a large pile of sand that looked like had just been dumped in jurisdiction.
Okay.
I sent the owner a letter. He came in, basically, and we discussed the issues involved. He was very cooperative and did in fact file the RDA for what is going to be a carport where the fill was. The fill has been moved, but it's still in jurisdiction.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, when I bought the property, it said nothing about an aquifer under me. It never said nothing about conservation land around me. I've got this document of deeds, and it has nothing in it for aquifer or conservation area from 1928 to 2020. So I had no idea I did something wrong. Now I know.
Okay.
That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. No, and
I never knew that was
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. No, and thanks for filling out the RDA and coming in. Yeah. I think George, correct me if I'm wrong, if we go ahead and approve this, that the enforcement order.
Well, I didn't issue an enforcement.
Oh, okay.
All I did was issue a letter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there won't
Perfect.
be anything to ratify or delete.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I don't think it has. It's nothing to do with the aquifer or
Oh, he's in Riverfront.
it's the river. Yeah, or conservation land. It's just the proximity to the creek and the river.
Correct.
Yeah, but, yeah, so I guess that wouldn't show up on the deed.
No, but I mean, like I said, when I bought the place, I had no,
Yeah.
yeah, if I dug in, found George before I bought the house, I would've found out fast, but. But other than that, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you're putting,
20 by 40 carport. Should have a picture.
They have, I just handed them the copy of the latest thing you gave me.
All right.
so the edge of the, oh, I see here. So it's off the back of the barn, perpendicular.
Correct. So the barn will be an L shape.
Yep.
Would you like me to put up a fence or anything to hide it, or
Say that again?
would you like me to put up a fence to hide it?
No.
No,
Okay.
not worried about that, no. Is so the 174 feet and then the 162 feet that you've got off the edge there, is that on a hillside or anything? Running down to the
Are you
creek?
talking the left side?
The,
Right side.
The right side is a hill.
It is, okay. George, in your report, you just have straw wattle, a recommendation?
Yes, I'm recommending the issuance of the IDA, and with the conditions listed. I don't see any significant issues with, especially with the carport. The fill, I just want to make sure, he's still got it in jurisdiction, but it's been moved to the rear of the barn.
Okay,
All right, I just want to make sure it doesn't move.
yeah, so I see, the sand that you got down here by the street,
Yeah.
that's behind the barn now?
Yes.
That's just the,
It's another, I just moved the pile because I had to get in there with a trailer.
yeah, okay. Is that sand,
It's hard packed.
oh, the hard pack, is that for under the carport?
Yes.
Okay. George, when do you think, once he spreads that out and that's tamped down, is that,
It's not going to be a problem. I don't see it as a big issue.
do you think there needs to be a erosion control before that happens or while that happens?
I think there has to be erosion control where he's working on the carport, between the carport and the creek. I mean, I just don't want that soil or fill or whatever it is
Yeah,
in a torrential thunderstorm moving.
So that would be to the left of the barn, because that's, this here goes up a little bit and down.
Yeah. Where you have the river,
Yep.
you're going to put the carport in here. I want the erosion controls here so it doesn't get into this, and some over here so it doesn't get into that.
Okay, so if I go like front of the barn,
That's fine.
it's like 20 feet past,
Sure. As long as it's between this and this.
so I can go from the front of the barn, or mid barn,
Yeah, that'd be fine.
20 feet here.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Leave yourself enough room to get any construction vehicles in there you need.
Okay.
does that work for you?
And then what's that, hay, or you got something special I have to buy?
Straw wattles.
Pardon?
Straw wattles.
WALTTLES.
You can get them at any home improvement store or any lumber.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody have any other questions or thoughts?
I just want to be clear. George, you're recommending orders of conditions as you've outlined in your report.
No, I'm recommending the IDA be granted with a positive 2A and 5 and a negative 2. And then those stipulations I listed.
All right, will those stipulations be spelled out?
Yes, they're right here. You'll get the copies of all of them.
Okay.
What's the when are you going to be doing the project?
I don't know what the stipulations are, after the stipulations before I start the project.
Well, one of the fair
stipulations.
point. One of the stipulations says that the hard pack is moved within 30 calendar days. So I just want to make sure that we're
Okay, that's easy, I can put that in 30 days.
okay.
But I gotta get a building permit to put the building up now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Okay, 30 days to move the gravel.
as soon as you get the erosion control in, send me an email. I'll come down and look at it. Once that I've looked at it and said, okay, go to work.
Okay,
Okay. If nobody has any other questions, I'll make a motion. Okay. I'll make a motion to issue a positive 2A and 5 and a negative 2 with the conditions and stipulations outlined in the agent's report.
And may I add, and to close the public hearing.
And to close the public hearing, yes.
Negative what?
Negative 2.
can I understand what this 2A and then all this other negative stuff is?
You'll see it on these.
Oh, okay.
It's on, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I know what it means.
In theory, it's going to make sense to you, once you see it.
Well, at my old age, okay.
No, we just throw out numbers to have fun.
Well, I know you know the numbers, but I'm just here.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't always know the numbers. We ask George what the numbers mean, so,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Robin? Tallulah?
Yes.
Brad?
Aye.
And I. You are all set.
I'm all set to go.
We're
gonna sign this and-
Sign the permit. You'll take one with you when you're all done.
Who signs it?
All of us.
Everybody.
Yeah. Your first official act. Thank you.
Oh, she's new in town? I know her father and grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like a threat.
No, I love them both.
There might be another place you could sign.
Their mom always walking,
Yeah.
running.
Here, I'll sign.
Oh, I read in the telephone, I went digging on aquifer and all that. And it says now, I can't cut a branch off a tree. That's what I read in this report. If I gotta take limb on a tree, I gotta come up.
No. You have to get a permit if you are taking down the whole tree.
All right,
Believe it or not, when the Wetlands Protection Act was passed, there's a stipulation in there that you cannot destroy vegetation. And I actually had to go to court for the courts to rule that you could still mow the grass.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
would you mind to keep?
You're all set.
Cheers to keep. Carl, thank you.
I'm all done?
You're all
You're all
done.
done.
Want to sign that one?
Nope, you're all set.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate doing business with you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. And good luck with the project.
Say hi to your dad. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll call you as soon as the straw's in and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Okay, next is the notice of intent for KVIP. What does KVIP stand for? Kent Brothers? No?
I have no idea.
Okay. For KVIP, for a new medical building, office building at 38 College Highway.
Before the applicant presents his project, I would just like to make sure the commission understands that this hearing is going to have to be continued
Yeah.
because of the national heritage issues.
Yep.
We don't have a report from them yet.
Have they started it? Do you know?
I know the application's been sent to
It's been
them.
submitted. It's just,
Okay.
They have a certain amount of time.
Yes.
So within their time.
I know this now from the solar project.
National Heritage.
Yeah, I think you can abbreviate to NHEP.
NHESP.
ESP.
Natural Heritage and Endangered Species.
That's it, yeah. And you're from Arlevest, right?
Yes, yep.
Were you texting Ryan while we were?
Not yet. He all, well, he was here double booked tonight, so that's, you get me here tonight. So I'll send him a message later.
No, I mean, it is what it is, but I thought it was odd to be, or not odd, but it was unique to be talking about his schedule with his colleague sitting right there.
I know, and I wasn't gonna interject with anything.
I'm glad you
It is what it
didn't.
is.
I'm glad you didn't. Yeah.
Can you just say your name so I can?
Sure, absolutely. So, for the record, Philippe Cravo, of Arlevest Associates, project engineer, here tonight for the notice of intent application for 38 College Highway.
How do you spell your last name? Sorry.
Cravo, C-R-A-V-I-C-T-O.
Okay. Easy enough.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah. So we are here, or I am here tonight, for the notice of intent application for the proposed site improvements at 38 College Highway, which is just north down the street from this location, just past Canal Bowling Lanes on the left-hand side. We filed the notice of intent application due to resource areas on the property. A number of those are including the riverfront area associated with the Manhan River to the north of the property, shown in this blue highlight here. We have an intermittent stream that I highlighted in green, running sort of north to south in the property here. And then bordering vegetated wetlands highlighted in orange that are adjacent to both the Manhan River and the intermittent stream, and then larger wetland areas adjacent to the jurisdictional areas off to the sort of west and south here. The entirety of the property is about 7.3 acres in size. If you look at the notice of intent application in the rear, it shows the entirety of the property, but we're only focusing on the front, just over an acre or so along the frontage with College Highway. Now, College Highway, kind of, you can see it coming across the page here. The right-of-way actually extends, kind of far off where the road is, and it's represented by this bold line here that runs sort of northeast to southwest here. So, it's not necessarily next to the road. The property line's a little bit farther back, just to kind of set that up. I highlighted, so in regard to the river, it's, a riverfront area, we have delineated the 100-foot inner riparian, and then the 200-foot riverfront area associated with the Manhan River to the north here, and then also to the west, just off the page here, but there's also a riverfront area, but it's on the other side of the intermittent stream, and we're not really getting close to it on that side. So, generally, there was an existing, I believe it was probably a single-family home, not exactly sure what it was, but there's an old foundation on the property, and you can kind of see the NHESP line kind of cuts out and around what was probably the house and the backyard area and everything. And then off the page here, so it kind of juts out. You can see it's like this polygon with a hatching behind it. So obviously any work outside that is now within NHESP, and that's why we have submitted the application to Natural Heritage Program. So that's another sort of agency we have to go through. So that kind of just wanted to, so this plan kind of just identifies and shows the jurisdictional areas on the property. I can flip this around and show what is being proposed with a nice colored plan here. I have a full set of plans, so if there's any particular details, I can pull up the plan set and we can kind of walk through those.
Okay.
So what is being proposed is a 7,200-foot medical office building with associated parking lot and stormwater management system. So the disturbance kind of the parcel comes from obviously the construction of all those features. We really kept focused on keeping everything we could up towards the front of the site. The topography of the property is such that it's kind of like a peninsula in this sort of upland area, and then the grade kind of drops off in all the directions. So we really tried to tuck it into the front corner where the old house was, and then obviously build from there. But on that upland, tried to stay as much within that upland area as possible. Obviously, we're within riverfront area with some of the improvements. Just that was unavoidable, just from the size of the area given. And then we have the 100-foot buffer here, and we are mostly out of the 100-foot buffer, but we encroach within the 100-foot buffer along the front, kind of lower east side, southeast side of the property, and this portion here. And that was just to build out the parking lot and some of the grading there. We kept obviously the limit of work tight to the proposed site improvements, and that entire limit of work is about 54,000 square feet, so just over an acre of disturbance for what you see here. What is being proposed from a stormwater standpoint is a bioretention area. We did a number of test pits on the property to investigate the soil conditions. We found relatively high groundwater and soils that weren't favorable to infiltration. So we've designed a bioretention area, which is essentially acting as a giant filter. Mm-hmm. So stormwater runoff will be collected through deep sump hooded catch basins in the corner of the parking lot here, routed through a manhole into a sediment forebay that will sort of discharge into the basin itself. The basin is lined with media and vegetation planted throughout the basin. There's an under drain that's installed in a stone layer underneath the soil media. And as the water sort of percolates through, it gets filtered through that media. It'll get collected by that under drain and then routed through an outlet control structure and discharged through a level spreader off towards the wetland areas to the south. We've done a full stormwater design and analysis, any aspects of that we can certainly go through as well.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
So it won't be discharged like in a spread out way, or it's just going to be pinpointed to the...
So there's a level spreader at the outlet. So, you have a few options. There's obviously just the plain and simple flare end section, which is just the end of the pipe with a flare on it, and that sort of there's a point source discharge.
Yeah.
What we try to do is install these level spreaders, which is a longer apron, and it promotes sheet flow.
Right.
So rather than a single pipe pointing water out into one location, it goes discharged into a level spreader, sort of like a little ponding area behind a level piece of something impermeable, and that promotes the sheet flow. So rather than a point pipe, you have a sheet of water discharging.
So that's going toward the intermittent stream?
So that would be discharging through the wooded area and then off to the south, following the topography. Yes.
Okay, so it's not just a one point?
It's not just that one pipe coming out of the basin.
Okay.
Correct.
What's the max gallons per minute that would flow through that?
Through the level spreader?
Yeah.
The level spreader can discharge a lot. I mean, it's essentially a weir. So we're at that point, so, depending on how high the weir, I can tell you what's coming out of the pipe, and that's what's coming over to the level spreader.
Okay.
So we have, but obviously we have to match pre and post
Yep.
discharge rates, so we've documented all that in the stormwater report to match at the design points, all the pre and post development discharge rates. I can tell you what those are.
Okay. Yeah, so and that's, just to kind of go back a second, that's collecting everything that hits the roof, everything that hits the parking lot?
Correct. So the roof will be piped through roof drains.
Yep.
In a pipe underground directed, because it's roof runoff, doesn't have to get treated like the same as, a parking lot does. So the roof gets piped directly into the basin, and the parking lot has deep sump hooded catch basins, which is, it's the grates you see on the side of the road with a sump, and then a hood on it, which is essentially just a snout that's on the outlet pipe, so that so the water as it comes into the structure, it has to flow down and it gets under and it collects the floatables. So any hydrocarbons or anything, soda bottle or anything that floats will get stuck in the catch basin, and the water that's leaving the catch basin is coming from underneath. So after the suspended solids have a chance to settle out, it's taking the water from the middle of the column of water, not the top.
Got it. Okay.
So that's the first line of the first line of treatment is the hooded catch basins. And then you have the sediment forebay, which is essentially just a riprap weir. As the water comes into the basin, it gets slowed down. You want the water to be moving, slow at that point, so it'll have a chance to pond there, settle out some more, and then enter the basin itself, or the bioretention area itself. That bioretention area has a soil media that's very specific, sieve associated with that, and also plantings. So between that soil media and the plants, these bioretention areas are designed to treat the water and remove additional pollutants out of the water. It's essentially a giant filter, because at the bottom of that soil media, which lets the water percolate through, which is getting filtered and treated as it gets through, it hits a stone layer, has a pipe in it, and then once the water reaches there, it gets routed to the outlet structure.
George or anyone, is there a tree requirement for new development parking lots?
That's a zoning issue.
Gotcha.
And I unfortunately don't know for each square foot of floor area, how many parking spaces you have to have. But that will be discussed at the planning board.
So, as part of the notice, because we are within riverfront area, there was an alternatives analysis that was required to be done. We've gone through that process, and, one of the biggest parts is there another sort of similarly zoned property feasible to avoid impacts to the jurisdictional areas? And unfortunately, there's not any, along this stretch of road, an area of that would fit a project like this, that would avoid the impacts that are shown here. And then again, I just wanted to, say that, we're pushed up against, as far as we can, up College Highway. The building is behind the parking lot due to zoning setbacks. If we were to flip-flop the building and the parking lot, it would push us farther back onto the property. So we really, tried to keep the impacts towards the front of the site as much as possible.
And what is the what is the distance from the closest corner of that lot to the
there?
yeah.
Let me get my scale.
Maybe it was on this side.
Is it?
Oh, I guess the plans are on that side. It's just the.
Yeah, no, that's just the existing conditions. Take my scale up. Yeah, we can just kind of estimate right here. Well, this is the 100-foot buffer, right? So this is the 100-foot buffer right here. So, we're within the 100 by...
Okay, and that's the 50-foot, so it's maybe about
A little more than 50, so we're outside the 50, everything's outside the 50, so if that's 100, we're, 60, 65 feet to that corner right there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all impacts were kept outside the 50-foot buffer. Outside the 100-foot riparian buffer to the Manhattan River.
And why, just out of curiosity, on the parking lot, why all the way here and not splitting it kind of L-shaped around the building to avoid some of that?
So it would, let's think about that. So this is really the only area we could fit a leach field. So Ryan, who did the soil evaluations, also did the perk tests, and we couldn't get anything to perk anywhere on the site except for, close to this, the top slope of this sort of ridge that falls off towards the river here. So that's where the septic, that made no sense to place the leach field. And that just kept it in a sort of a, conventional parallel sort of layout.
George, is the septic part of this, or is it outside of?
No, it's within the 200 foot.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, so we have got this, we don't have the final design here. That would obviously have to go through the Board of Health to be reviewed for the leach field size, but we have gone through the process of making sure we have enough area for a leach field.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if this was part of the application or if that's going to be later.
Yeah. So the impact, so from a, conservation standpoint, we're looking obviously at the limit of work, right? So that outer perimeter of disturbance will, obviously anything we would have to stay within that. So from even if, in the event and after we go through the process, we do get an order of conditions, we would have to stay within that limit of work that is shown on the plans. I know that there was a number of comments, DEP issued, we have a DEP file number, there was a number of comments, Ryan issued a letter, addressing each one of those. I think he sent it over today.
Yeah, I got it.
George, so he went through the DEP comments. So if there's any of those you would like to discuss specifically, we can certainly go through that. But obviously a site visit, we expect that, the commission will want to do a site visit. We're still going through the natural heritage review process, and so obviously not looking to close here tonight, but gather questions, feedback, and any specific points of concern so that we can kind of try to adjust it.
Do you mind if I flip this around?
Yeah, that's so this is the existing conditions.
Yeah.
And I have other plans here that show a little more detail of what's going on. It's just, there's a lot going on here in regards to leaders and labels, so I just want to, this one's a little cleaner, but this one has, the dumpster locations at the end of the drive aisle here. You have the two catch basins that connect to a manhole, discharge into the basin discharges to a level spreader. I guess it should also add that, the entrance drive grades up to the site and then flattens out. So in order to collect the water on that entrance drive, we have a trench drain that will go across the driveway to collect the water coming down up to this point. And that will route the water through a water quality unit. And that will which treats the water and then discharges to a flared end section, in another level spreader here. So that just treats like just a small portion of the driveway that we couldn't get into the basin just because of that, the ramp coming up. The grades didn't work out to get that water over here.
Yeah.
But it's still being treated.
No, I'm familiar with the semi-familiar with the property and remember when the house was there. So this section here, this is existing with this grade here, and where are you putting fill in to raise that?
We're basically, so the bottom of the basin's at 164.5, and we're at 164, the existing grade, so we're basically right at grade with the bottom of the basin.
Okay.
So there would have to be a little bit of fill to sort of construct the berm of the basin, but the basin bottom is essentially going to be kind of at grade.
Okay.
Look close. Trying to think of what else to add. There's a water easement that runs along the frontage of the property here, which is another reason we couldn't move the parking closer to the front property line, is because there's a water line easement. The water line's actually way over here. You can see that W line. It's out in the right of way here, but doesn't change the fact that there's a water line easement on the property that runs along the frontage.
Now, George, you had mentioned that whenever you're in floodplain, you have to make up for.
If you decrease flood storage capacity in a particular area, I'm just going to pick numbers. Let's say you decrease it by 100 cubic yards. You've got to create 100 cubic yards of storage area.
Right, and this doesn't affect that, or this doesn't take away any of the.
No, so that's a good point. There's also a floodplain, adjacent to the lower elevations are within floodplain along the Mannahan River and this intermittent stream back here. Right now it's shown here on the NAVD datum, NAVD 29 datum. We have to update that. It's one of DEP's comments.
Yeah.
Update that to the 88 datum, but it's only like a 0.7 foot shift, so it's not going to move much from a vertical standpoint. Doesn't change the fact we're not within the floodplain. It's on the property, but none of the proposed work is at that elevation. So we're not filling or disturbing any earth within the floodplain.
You're not losing any flood storage.
You're not losing. It's like it's like a bathtub, right? You throw a boulder into a bathtub, the water level rises, right? In order to keep the water level the same, you have to make the bathtub bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the comp storage, compensatory storage. But we're not putting a boulder in the bathtub.
Okay.
We're outside.
Interesting analogy.
What's the maximum grading?
That would be at the entrance drive, and I believe it's not quite 10%, but it's gonna, coming in off the road, you're gonna climb up to the site.
It wouldn't be coming off the back here?
Oh, the maximum grade of like anywhere on the property?
No, for change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so up here, so, the driveway, and then, you have 3-to-1 slopes along, adjacent to some of these areas, but that's gonna be vegetated with grass and everything.
Okay.
The impervious driveway is gonna be the steepest part.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Kemp Brothers is our client. They're local. They're really good to work with. So the local contractor.
Yep.
George, do you have anything you think we should be thinking about?
Since I knew the hearing would have to be continued, I didn't get into it, the necessary recommendations, which will come in the next agent's report. I also, frankly, I have to go back out and talk to Nina, probably as a start, because I found some discrepancies in numbers,
Okay.
and they haven't been rectified yet.
Sure. Yeah, we can clean all that up. Absolutely.
Because some of the stuff in the narrative versus some of the numbers on the plan sheets are different.
Yeah. They get always chasing in the office who's getting done what first. But yeah, so we'll clean up any numbers and
Yeah,
make sure we.
yeah, and since we're gonna be extending the hearing anyways, you know, I was gonna go out to Nina and say, you know, make sure that those i's are dotted and t's are crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
And so we have no purview in terms of the number of trees being taken down.
You have no purview on that?
About the trees, how many trees are going to be taken down?
Yes,
When we do anything inside of the jurisdiction,
yes, you have. If you would approve the plan right now as presented, I'm just picking numbers. If they were gonna cut down 100 trees, you're approving that.
Is there a mitigation requirement?
You can make it their requirement. You know, again, the regulations say destruction, you cannot have destruction of vegetation without a permit. So if you're concerned with that issue, okay, by voicing it now, I'm sure it's going to go back to the office and they're going to have something about how many trees are we cutting down and why we have to cut them down. You know, it's not, I've seen developers go both ways, just clear cut everything, like they did up on,
Cold Spring there.
thank you. And I've seen other developers go in there and try and save every tree they can. You know, it's an individualized, nice thing.
do you know off the top of your head how many trees are being removed?
No, we typically don't do like a tree inventory unless it's like a specific requirement, you know, through a bylaw or something. This is obviously, we show the limit of work and what the proposed tree line, the location of the proposed tree line of, you know, what's required to build what is being proposed and how we're kind of tight up against, you know,
Yep.
the extent of the grading required just to make the site function as it's designed. So, you know, there's not a specific like number of trees, but you know, we can certainly put some stakes in the field before a site visit, so you can see where the limit of work is. And so while you're walking out there, you can see, okay, so this is where, you know, this is where this line is right here.
Yeah.
And so everything on that side stays, everything on this side is going to be taken out so that they can put the building.
Yeah, a lot of that lot, there was a house and then there was a backyard to it, so a lot of it's already cleared.
Right.
Yeah, so a large portion right here was already cleared. It's this upland sort of peninsula up back here where probably most of the impact is going to be. But, you know, there was a house and whatever's grown now is new.
It's small,
yeah,
right.
It's small, it's new to the.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, flagging it, if it's not too much work, that does make things easier, because I do want to go out and.
Yeah, we can add some limited work stakes
Okay.
out in the field prior to a site visit, so you can see where the line is.
Yeah, okay.
In the field. That's
Just for your own edification, there's been 2 or 3 projects in front of the commission in the last few months, and the issue of how many trees are we losing has come up
okay.
a number of times.
Sure.
So,
That's
you know,
logical. Yeah.
you know, you can just go out and say, well, we're not cutting down 2,000, but we might cut down 150,
Right.
you know?
Well, and what does 150 like sort of look like? You know?
Yeah, and also, you know, you're cutting down trees that are, you know, 100 feet tall, or are they 20 feet tall?
Right. Yeah.
You know, 4-inch caliper, 2 feet
Yeah,
caliper.
so I think some stakes in the field, and you'll be like, okay, so here's the line.
Yeah.
These trees would have to go, those trees are staying. Yep, but it's all, you know, it's all based on what is shown.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. I'm sure I will once I dig into some stuff. And I know we're gonna have to continue this, but does anybody else have any questions?
Not right now.
We need a motion to continue the hearing.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Do we have a date?
Be, April, August 3rd.
I won't be here, but we have 4 people.
Gee, then we still have a quorum.
August 3rd, yeah, that's, I will be here.
Before the...
I'll second that.
Wow.
Thank you, yep. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Robin?
I,
Aye.
Okay.
If the applicant has not received feedback from National Heritage, I think at the next meeting, if we don't have a mass of people here jumping up and down about it, we should just open the hearing and continue it.
Yeah,
You know, there's no sense getting into this all over again.
Yeah, however you guys want to
yeah, I
go
mean,
about that process. And,
it would save, I think if we did that, we could save somebody a trip.
yeah,
George, what about peer review on this project?
I initially thought peer review was warranted. The more I,
Do we need to reopen this to get this on the record and close it again?
yes, but I'm not going to recommend peer review again, because the more I walked the site, I've been down there twice, and reviewed the plans that come in. The work within jurisdiction is extensive, but I agree with the wetlands delineation, and they submitted the alternative analysis, which you never got from on the solar farm up front, and that's a tremendous help to make. And one of the things peer review would do, as Levesque did for Weston and Sampson, was make sure those alternative analysis was done and accurate.
Okay,
So I think we're in better shape with this one.
okay, okay. All right, thank you.
great, thank you.
You going downstairs and have some fun?
Downstairs?
Had a planning board's meeting on a solar farm
Oh, are
downstairs.
they? Do I want to get involved?
Pretend George didn't say anything and just go
I'm
home.
just kidding. One second, go.
Okay, let's see here, regular business. Oh, voting on signing payrolls, yeah.
I just think it'd be easier if, frankly, I do want to get paid, and I would like,
It's
you
a
know,
reasonable expectation.
if you're in New Hampshire, for instance,
Yes,
I need to have a backup.
yep,
I ran it by the town treasurer, she has no problem with it,
okay.
as long as it's a member of the commission.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
yeah,
So I just asked for a
Yeah.
formal vote that any member of the commission can sign my payroll and mileage reimbursement sheets.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we change, it's not a bylaw, what is it?
No, it's strictly,
A commission?
there's a record of the commission authorizing, for instance, if next Monday you're not around, you know, I can have one of the other members sign
Yeah.
the payroll.
Okay, so we're not changing anything. Make a motion that allows anybody on the commission to sign George's payroll.
I'll second.
Nice, your first, second on the record. All in favor? Tallulah?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Great. No,
Will you be
thank
around next Monday morning?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
I'm usually around, George.
I know.
Yeah, I dropped my son off at camp, so I can swing through,
Ah,
so. Yeah,
I remember those days. Dropped my son off one in Pennsylvania for a basketball summer camp. He was fine, anxious to go. We went to pick him up, and he's on crutches.
Oh,
yeah, that hasn't happened, so, yeah. Okay. Ratification of enforcement order for 389 College Highway.
I have issued a stop work order for this site
Yeah,
for violation of the stipulation of approval. They kept on working. So I issued the enforcement order, and I'm asking the commission to ratify it. And coming by there today, coming into work, they were working.
Okay, yeah, because the last time we talked, you were heading out to,
Yeah, and so I'm going to be paying them a visit. And if they can, first, it's a two-step process, but first, I need you legally to ratify this, because then it becomes official. One member of the commission or staff can issue it as long as it's ratified at the next regularly scheduled meeting. So,
Okay.
And the other thing is, I have told him, and will again tell him that if any work goes on without compliance with the stipulations of approval, I will start issuing fines.
and what was the cause for the enforcement order and the stop work order?
The stop work order was issued because there's a stipulation that any time the work stops for 5 or more days, they have to notify the commission or the agent that when they're starting to work again.
Right.
They never did.
Yeah, and then it stopped for months.
Yeah. And the erosion control had to be checked. And the other big thing was, there's a requirement that they submit a report from the from the engineer and wetland scientist on the project 4 times a year. One was due in April, just giving us a status of what's going on in the project, any problems encountered, what they've done, blah, blah, blah. We never got one for April.
Okay.
And that's another reason I issued the stop work order.
Yep.
And then, since we got nothing out of the stop work order and they started working again, I issued the enforcement order.
What are they building?
Pardon me?
What are they building there?
A duplex.
Oh,
It's right, I don't know if you know where it is. It's right up by the intersection of College Highway and Valley Road.
okay, yeah.
It's the second property off that corner.
Yep.
There was also a hydraulic spill there.
Yes.
Right?
The other complaint I turned over to the Health Department and Building Department, they were using some type of asphalt sealing on the foundation. They're just spreading it with rollers, and they had 2 or 3 open containers on site. And I just didn't know what they were, what was in them.
Oh, nobody was there. They left.
Yep. Nobody on site, these are 3 open containers.
Okay.
And I was just fearful that there was very, very limited probability, but what if some 12-year-old kid walked in there and started playing around with the stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Needless to say, in my opinion, this,
I mean, yeah, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like you've been going back and forth with him.
yeah,
I mean, shouldn't we just be able to issue fines
I can.
tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'll start issuing fines. It probably won't be this week though, because not tomorrow, but Wednesday, I'll be in court on another thing where I've issued
Okay.
fines on. So, I'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, let's,
So I just request the commission vote to ratify the EO.
yeah. I will make a motion to ratify the EO at 389 College Highway.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Thank you. The final thing we got is this invasive plant treatment. I think it was Robin wanted to know what chemicals they were using,
Yeah.
and we got that information. It's in the agent's report.
Oh, I looked. Oh, it is glyphosate.
Oh, I didn't see that. That was in your report?
It was on the second, it was like the last paragraph. I missed it too, because I was looking. So aquatic safe
Aquatic
glyphosate.
safe, okay.
And I know that based on my very limited Googling of Japanese knotweed, there really isn't anything that kills it.
Yeah.
Nothing, yeah.
I was talking with one of our new members of the select board 2 years ago, maybe, about treating Japanese knotweed on the road edges where it grows. And yeah, glyphosate is the only thing that'll kill it, or rock salt, or just burying it in 2 inches of rock salt.
Yeah, which has its own problems.
Which is, yes. It's is it rhizomes? They're rhizomes that grow, yeah, they spread 60 feet underground.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
The only thing I've heard is the timing of when you do it is important too. They're going to do it the end of July, beginning of August. I've heard that it's better to wait till the end of August because of the.
Yeah,
But I mean,
their
this
growing
is a
cycle.
professional company. I'm sure
That's
they know
not
more
a
than I do.
problem at all. Ruby's been doing Mahan since I've been here, which is 2023. And he has been very late summer, early fall when he's doing it. Because now is the time he's going to get busy, so we should, quote, reserve him.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything is necessary for you to take any votes or what have you. I just got to get, back out to him and say the commission's comfortable with this. We request a little bit later timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I worked for the city of Austin, we dealt with invasive weeds by hiring goats. The goats would just eat everything.
Yeah.
They were my coworkers.
Yeah, I wish that was an option.
I don't think Southampton has money for boats. You'd have to get a contractor to bring them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Vanessa.
So well, maybe there's a business opportunity for me. I'll buy some goats and some movable fencing. All right. Anything? Oh, anything for the treasurer's report?
I was attached to my agent's report. So far, there's no problems. That's the end of fiscal year 26, those
Yep.
numbers. So now we're in the 27th. The one thing I did do is I did buy another laptop for my
Okay.
office. And in theory, Monday, they're gonna come and do what they have to do to transfer data and everything. This thing is ridiculous. I had to turn it on 3 times this morning before I could use it, on and off. And it just,
Yeah.
it keeps telling me, for instance, like a peripheral's attached to it, like an address printer. And it keeps telling me it's not attached.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So I was going to ask if there was somebody in IT or something. I was going to set it up with
Yeah,
secure it and all. And
yeah,
security
somebody
software.
comes in every other Monday to the town hall
Okay.
from our contracted IT people.
Okay.
And then they're stopping in my office Monday morning to hook up the new machine.
Okay. Perfect. Kathy's not here, so no Trailblazers report.
No, but she will be next week. Our next meeting, she has an IDA in
For the bridge.
for the bridge.
Yeah. I actually made it out to the Garfinkel Menard property, which is I think now what is it called now? The Breakneck
Well, I'm not sure.
property. It's out on Fulmer Road. So I was going for a ride and I went in and I think I found the trail that they had been blazing. Goes right up a ridge. It's really nice. It's pretty.
Trailblazers do a lot of good work
Yeah.
in the town.
Yeah. Acceptance of minutes, they're not ready. I did have a question, George. Jeff requested minutes,
Yeah.
and when I Googled open meeting laws of Massachusetts, it said they have a version of the minutes have to be supplied within 10 days of the request. Is that,
Or you can respond to the requester saying you need more time.
Okay. Are we I can't remember your email word for word. Did you? It was in the email that he had sent to the select board and to you, and maybe me.
Quick story on that. I sent him everything he requested,
Yes.
and it kept kicking back. And I found out the reason was he has no capacity in his inbox to accept it.
Okay. Okay.
So, because he asked for different things again, I sent them all back again. They kept coming back.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering I don't remember when that email was, but I'm wondering if I should create another draft version, or even just send him, because I just don't want to be caught on a technicality.
Neither do I. Is that the email you sent me or the commission this afternoon?
Yes.
I'll send it to him.
Yeah. Robin's made it. She made an update or a couple updates, some edits.
Just a few typos, and
Changing
I didn't know the names of the name of the speakers. I didn't have that information, and
Yeah.
there was one other thing that you highlighted and read. I didn't know.
Yeah. So I guess you have the list of everybody that signed in to speak. That has to get added, and then the other thing was. Oh, the other thing was Perrine's last name. I didn't know her last name, so we can leave that blank. But I guess I'll make a couple edits. I can do it actually right now. I want to make a couple edits to make sure that it's very abundantly clear that it is a draft, so that is not used against us.
Should we be sending them the draft, or should we wait until they're finalized and approved?
Yes, we can reach out to him and say the minutes were just reviewed by the members. They're being made. Some issues came up in the minutes, and they have to be, defined, if you will. We will get them to you as soon as the commissioners accept it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just saw the email before the meeting. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah. Oh no, I sent it. Yeah, 2 hours prior. Excuse me.
I'll send them an email to that. And I'm trying to get him to correspond with me, because I think the commission members should not be put in the position of, quote, talking for the commission, especially when there's a closed public hearing or ongoing hearing. Because I know Evan got a lot of requests for him while the hearings were being continued, which is a big no-no, because if he talks to him, then he's going to recuse himself. Then we don't have a quorum.
Right. He was he got my cell phone and he was calling me over and over and over again.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.